So what I want to talk about is something that my friends call Jonny Logic, right? It's been like said as a joke thing for a while, but it all came down with when I said there's no such thing as not being allowed to do something. I'm obviously talking about laws and the legal system, right? And they said, of course there is. You're not allowed to murder, you're not allowed to steal. I said, of course you are. You're allowed to do whatever you want, but you have to be willing to do, you know, the punishment. Like, you're allowed to kill someone if you're willing to spend the rest of your life in jail. Yeah, you're allowed to steal a car if you're willing to have a couple of years in jail. You're allowed to speed, okay, if you're happy to pay the fine. Yeah, you can do whatever you want if you're happy with the consequences, and that's what it comes down to. They call it Jonny Logic, like when I say everything is just a trade, and it's kind of a joke thing, it's Jonny Logic, but what it comes down to is this: you can do whatever the fuck you want to do if you're happy with the consequences, and that's what it comes down to. People think they can't do stuff. Oh, I can't quit my job. Like, they're miserable in their job, they hate it, but they can't quit. Well, of course you can. Just think about what the consequence is, and then think about how you can handle that. Right? Don't think that you have to always stick with average behavior, doing what everyone else is doing. You don't. Okay, trust me, you do not. You can do whatever the fuck you want. The amount of times I'm doing things, like done stuff, doing things, and people say, can't do that. Can't do that. People tell me that's not normal. Like, people don't do that. It doesn't matter. If you're happy with the consequences, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And it goes on the flip side, right? I obviously push for packing on muscle, being fit, being healthy, like living your best life. But if you want to be fat, unhealthy, a slob, sinking beers every day, eating shitty food, you can absolutely do that if you are happy with shaving years off your life, if you're happy with not getting any female attention, if you're happy with being low confident, if you're happy with men not seeing you as a leader, if you're happy just living a shit life and you're happy with that, you're happy to just slob out, be out of breath all the time, you can absolutely do that. Okay, you can get big and unhealthy and just get in shit shape. That's well within your rights. You can do that if you're willing to live with the consequences. Right? I speak to guys, they say, honestly, I can't get to the gym. There's no way of me getting to the gym. I get up at 5 for work, I've got a family, we spend time in the evenings together, all this stuff. I say, we'll get up at 4. Right? They laugh like it's a joke. Like, it's not something normal people do. If you get up at 5 for work, that's like an early start. You can get up at 4. What that means is they're not willing to be a little bit tighter in the morning. They're not willing to be more disciplined. They're not willing to go to bed a little bit earlier. They'd rather stay up and watch TV. That's the problem, right? Or, okay, invest in some gym kit. Oh, I can't afford it. Well, you can. You're just not willing to live with the consequences of what it means if you buy that instead of, you know, going out for dinner, going out on the piss, buying all these pointless, comfortable luxuries that you don't really need instead of investing in some gym equipment, right? That's what it all comes down to. I want you to realize that this Jonny Logic thing, like, yeah, it's a bit of a joke that my friends say, like, me saying everything's a trade, but that's what it is. You can do anything you want. Remember this all day today. You can do anything you want, anything in the world, if you're willing to live with the consequences, right? Everything is cause and effect. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? If you're willing to put up with the reaction that your action causes, then you can absolutely fucking do it, okay? And it applies to everything, every single thing, okay? So if you want something, go get it. If something's been holding you back, fuck it. Think of the consequences, think how you can handle it, and get it done. No one ever became extraordinary or highly successful or lived their best life by doing what everyone else is doing, by reverting to average behavior and doing what's normal, doing what's expected. Think about what you actually want to do. Think about if you're willing to handle the consequences, and then fucking get it done, because that's what it comes down to, okay? So remember this Jonny Logic, right? Remember that everything is just a trade. Remember that every action just has a reaction, because some people aren't willing to deal with that reaction, doesn't mean you're not, right? You might be able to handle it. You might have a plan around it, okay? So remember, you can do anything you want to do if you're willing to handle the consequences. I'll speak to you soon.